I'll give an example because this is in the news. There's a guy in WWE named Mustafa Ali
Yeah,
who just asked for his release in public.
I love that kid.
Yeah, I think he's great too, Nate, but he
Yeah,
asked for his release in public. I'm not sure that does you any good. And what's he going to do? Go to AEW? They have 20 guys just like him in AEW. The kid's a talent, but I can't say he's special. The guys you're talking about, the women you're talking about, are special. You have to find a way to be special.
well, it's hard for me. To me, special as a person.
Well, yeah, but that's different.
No. I know. So, I and I think it's a hell of a talent. But you're right. There's a lot of guys that are very similar in level of ability, and but there's also a lot of guys that aren't classy, and that kid is classy as can be. So, and I kid with him all the time. I mean, but once for me, I know it's hard for me to separate the two, but respect is a big word, and I can't even make a smart crack about Ali. I don't know what his plans are, and maybe it saved his money. So who knows?
Well, and don't misunderstand me, Nate. I think he's a talent. I just think there's a lot of guys that are like him. And I'm not sure there's a chance for him to break out like he thinks he should. Not everybody gets to be a star.
No, you're right. But I don't know if he goes to Tony, if that'll happen either. You know what I mean? It's like I'm really happy now. Manny is Andrade is in a program now with Sting and Matt Hardy and
Darby Allin.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be great. I think isn't that their next pay-per-view?
Yeah, that and Andrade's aligned with Matt Hardy now, which I think is good for him as well.
I love that. Yeah, Matt's a great talker. Matt's a great guy. Two phenomenal workers. I mean, that Andrade is a working fool, man. Jesus, working fool. What a piece of talent, huh?
Oh, no question. And I think he's going to get better. But again, I look at him and I see something special, and I think you got to do that before you make demands. Then again, it's tough to do that if you're not given what is fair opportunity. Then again,
well, but he's in a great position now and a great.
Oh no! I'm not talking about Andrade, but like with Ali, I mean, again, not everybody gets to make it. To quote Judd Smales from Caddyshack, the world needs ditch diggers too. It's a tough business to make it in.
It is, as is every business. But we get more attention because we're on national TV.
Right. One last thing about Sam Muchnick. He was the NWA president for over 20 years, and that ended in 1975. It said he insisted on clean finishes for the NWA World Champ, no matter what, no matter where. Yeah. That certainly changed, but how insistent was he on that?
When Sam passed away, and that rolled over to Bob Geigel, the business changed.
How so?
Because then it was like Bob would call me and say, "What do you want to do?" But what do you mean, what do I want to do? So with Sam, this is it. So I'd call Sam or I'd ask, and it's an hour or you win. With Geigel, I don't have any fond memories of Bob Geigel whatsoever. Not talking about anybody bad, but he didn't pay my trans when I came in from Hawaii, and I mean, I left Beth in Hawaii with a tubular pregnancy, flew in on a red eye, and they didn't pay my trans. I mean, I can tell you some nightmare stories. So, you don't like to oversay anything bad about someone that's not here that can't defend themselves. But, I mean, there are some guys that were classy enough to be like Sam Muchnick, and there's a lot more that weren't. That's Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon reeks of class. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, but I got to tell
whether you like him or you don't like him, I know I'm using my deal. You can't not ever accuse him of not having class and conducting himself like a man and saying what he thinks and doing what he thinks is right. Even though we don't like it, he'll tell you, and that's it. But Bob Geigel running it, can you imagine? I mean, it was a downfall of the NWA.
Well, Nate, I got to tell you, if you're not willing to blast people who aren't there to defend themselves, you're never going to make it in sports talk radio.
Well, I blasted him.
No, I'm kidding, of course.
No, he killed it. Because then Fritz would call him. Fritz would say, "Well, I can't beat the boys," so we never did. But that was easy for me. because I could work around, and I liked those kids. They were easy. They weren't kids that were difficult to do business with. Their dad just was. So, but if I'm having a good time, which I did in Texas, and I like the person, I can work around anything. I don't have to win. I can have a good match with anybody.